Hey, what's up, fam? Thank y'all for tuning in once again. And as always, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit that notification bell so every time I drop a video, you will be the first to know about it. Man, I want to do something that's probably well overdue. I guess you could say the timing is off, but not really. I want to give a shout out to my dad. No, another day ain't Father's Day. It's not close. You know, they give us dads one day to celebrate, to get our tie and our socks. Next to Christmas, where we get our underwear and another set of, and get our underwear and another set of socks. Maybe some gloves, some acetones. But I want to give a shout out to my dad and a respect and appreciation to my father, because the man was a good dad, great dad. And I do this because I'm looking at this story that I'm about to get into. And it goes to show that everybody that calls himself a dad or a father sometimes don't deserve the title, haven't earned it. Aren't deserving of it. I mean, that's to put it plainly. My dad, he's from a little small town down in Texas, little East Texas town. At the time he was growing up, town was so small it might have been about a mile or less long, one road. That was it. I mean, eventually got like annexed into the next big town or whatever. But I think they had 8 siblings total. My grandmother, grandfather, like they had 8 kids. I think my grandfather might have been a Rolling Stone, because they found out he had like another daughter out there. Or I had another aunt. Found out about that when I was in, I think, junior high school or whatever. I think they ended up like separating or getting divorced or what have you. You know what I'm saying? My dad's dad, like 2 years before I was born, shot and killed. For what I'm hearing, in front of like this woman's house, some dude shot him in the stomach. And he didn't end up eventually dying. It was another little small town. And my grandmother, for as long as I can remember, didn't work, but she always said how she worked at, Curtis Mathis and lived off the pension, I think until she died of Social Security or whatever, for however long it was available until she died. Had a work ethic. And I say that, and I brought the bad stuff up about my grandfather, because my dad, could have taken that route, could have been a Rolling Stone. But from what I know, and I mean, my mother hadn't said anything different, and I ain't seen no kids, popping up out of nowhere, is that he was not a Rolling Stone. You know what I'm saying? He was a good father, a good husband. You know what I'm saying? He taught me a work ethic from a young age, at home and on the job. You do your chores, take care of your house, you go to work, do your job, come home, and just repeat. Let's say wash, rinse, and repeat. Didn't know much about, the bad things that he did growing up. Every now and then when him and his friends and the whole family get together, he might talk about when he like stabbed a dude, thought he probably gonna kill him, scared, this, that, and the third. But I mean, stuff like that you hear like, what? My dad, you know what I'm saying? You don't know, so you don't know things about what they did. So even with myself and things that I did growing up until my kids were born, even after my kids were born a little bit, I say my children don't know much of anything of how I grew up. I keep that away from them, and because we all want our kids to have a better life. My dad had like a government job, worked for the city, worked for the county. Man been retired for technically 15 years. Technically, but he go back to work when he want to, because he get bored and don't want to sit around the house. He go, get a job for a little while, then quit. So he got that freedom. And he also allowed me to have freedom to learn. A lot of things he didn't push me on. He said the reason why he didn't do it because he felt like it's my life and I gotta get out there and learn. You know what I'm saying? The best way to learn is to get out there and trip a little bit and pick yourself up and learn from those lessons. Learn from them losses or lessons, however you want, whichever way how you want to call it. But like I said, he was a good dad. He could have, from a little small town that wasn't much going on out there, but he also had siblings that moved to Dallas, and where he followed in their footsteps to move to Dallas, do better things, get a better, quote unquote, better life, and raise a family and move to the big city. And again, like I said, I want to give all the respect, the homage, is that how you say it? The love, to my dad. No, to all you women who want me to say something about my mama, no. My mama was, my mother is same level on my dad when it comes to me. They was together, raised me, did a great job, all that, fine, but this is about my dad because he didn't steer me in the wrong direction and wouldn't let me go in the wrong direction. Sometimes when I wanted to go a certain way and he saw it, nipped it in the bud. He was a protector. I've seen him pull out the revolver a couple of times for me when I was a kid. So I ain't got nothing bad to say about the dude, but that was only for protection, not to go out there and try to rob nobody or kill nobody. Which brings me to this story about PNB Rock and the suspects that have been arrested. If you haven't heard, if you don't remember, did a video about PNB Rock being, taken out a couple of weeks back, sending Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. They were trying to say that maybe his girlfriend posted their location and that's how these people came. They was wondering if he posted their location or maybe it was a beef with somebody. No one knew. But then the story came out this week. And pictures surfaced of a guy, 40-year-old guy, where it says a suspect and they was looking for him. The interesting and saddening part about that story too was, the reason why I knew it was him, well, not the reason why, but I knew it was him, well, I'll get into that later, but they arrested a woman that was 38 years old, and they arrested this man's son, who was 17 years old, and charged the son with participating in taking out a PNB Rock. Matter of fact, they say the son was a trigger man. Let's get into the story. This here is from KTLA, and it reads, manslaughter and killing of PNB Rock arrested in Las Vegas. Son, woman charged. So down, this dude done fled to Vegas. You let your son and your woman get caught, take the charge, and you flee. 3 people, including the father and the son, have been charged in connection with the fatal shooting of rapper PNB Rock. Officials announced Thursday. Freddie Lee Tron, 40, was charged with 1 count of murder and conspiracy to commit robbery, along with 2 counts of second-degree robbery, according to the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. His 17-year-old son faces the same charges, while 38-year-old Chantel Tron faces 1 count of accessory after the fact. So most likely she probably tried to help them hide or get away, or wouldn't tell their location, wouldn't give them up. The minor and Chantel Tron were taken into custody Tuesday, while Freddie Lee Tron was arrested in Las Vegas. Los Angeles police officials announced Thursday. The charges stem from the September 12th shooting of 30-year-old Rakim Allen, known as P&B Rock, at a Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle restaurant in the 100 block of West Manchester Avenue. Allen was dining with his girlfriend when the gunman shot the rapper and removed some of his property before running out the restaurant and fleeing in a vehicle. Police initially believe a social media post may have tipped the gunman to the rapper's location. Authorities have not released additional information about the fatal encounter, but TMZ reported the minor was the alleged shooter, and Freddie Trone drove the getaway car. How in the hell can you call yourself a dad or a father and you allow your son to commit crimes, let alone a murder? You let your 17-year-old boy be the trigger man. Now, you know, back in the day, when guys were banging or hanging on the corner and work needed to be done, they go get the minors, because they would say, well, man, you get a juvenile record charge, you'll be out in a day or two. And little kid like, oh, okay, that's fine. Not knowing how this stuff can just carry with you through your life. And then the psychological aspect of, you'll start thinking it's cool to be in and out of jail because the big homies promoted it, right? But those are little kids. I can't think that this would be the same thought process that telling your son, yeah, you go in there and rob him and shoot him if you have to. You're a minor, you won't get caught. You know, if you get caught, you'll be out in no time. Them laws are different. But then again, it kind of makes sense of what happened, because talking about the boy is 17 years old, which means the boy ain't really have the maturity to understand the ramifications of what he's doing, especially in a heat of the moment crime. That you trying to rob a guy that, I mean, actually, you know, he did put a post out that's been going viral lately, that he said he ain't been robbed, ain't gonna be robbed. You know what I'm saying? His brother somebody tried to take his brother's stuff, and that dude got popped. So it ain't gonna never happen. He was kind of cocky when he said it. So that dude was gonna fight for his, you know what I'm saying, for his possessions, or fight for his life or whatever. And 17-year-old probably didn't know what to do, probably got scared and pulled that trigger to back old boy off of him, and the boy subsequently died. Or the man, the grown man, subsequently died. So I can understand, well, not understand, but I can see how somebody gets shot in broad daylight. But then the boy, what was it, the boy named, what was it, Eric Holder or Eric Gardner? Which one of them dudes shot Nipsey Hussle? I can't remember. But he shot Nipsey Hussle in broad daylight. He was a grown man too, but they're trying to say he had mental issues too. But a lot of people have mental issues, so it is what it is. The team made his initial appearance Thursday at the Compton Juvenile Court and is scheduled to return on October 19th for a pre-trial hearing, officials said. Chantel Trone is expected to be arraigned Thursday. Authorities have not disclosed the relationship between her and the other two suspects. Okay, I'm gonna go on a ledge here. Help me out. Help me out. The 40-year-old last name is Trone. Her name is Trone. And the son, I don't know what the son's last name is, but I'm going to say if it's his son, then I'm going to guess that his last name is Trone. Could it be that she's married to Freddie, what's his name? Freddie Lee? I'm just saying, they both have the same last name. Trone is not a common name. It'd be different if their name was like Smith, you know? Then you can say, well, we don't know what their relationship is to each other, because Smith is a common name, or Jones, or in the black community, Washington. But anyway, said the murder of Mr. Allen dimmed a bright light in the lives of his fans, friends, and most importantly, his family, District Attorney George Gascon said in a statement. The accused individuals' alleged actions in the case were heartless and cruel and robbed the world of Mr. Allen's talent. One thing they didn't bring up in this story is Freddie Trone is a known affiliate or associated with a street gang, local street gang in LA. So he does have I think they have a criminal history, you know, in his past. So, dude, you done brought your son into the street life. And it goes back to my dad. Like I say, everybody that has kids really does not deserve or earn the title to be a father or a dad. And I don't know how you can, to me, you can interchange them. Some people say, oh, anybody can be a father but not a dad. And some shirts say anybody can be a dad, not a father. I don't know. Father sound more prestigious, like it has more weight to it, more power to it than dad. But either way, to me, it's the same thing. Unless you call because if you ain't really a daddy, then what, you a sperm donor? You know what I'm saying? You a baby daddy, you's my baby's father, whatever. The dude, what the girls call, or girls call the dude that knocked me up, whatever. But it's gotta be a word for, got deadbeat dads or deadbeat fathers. But again, to me, you gotta earn that. You gotta earn that, those titles. Like I say, my dad grew up, like I said, in a small town. He could have easily been discouraged, been an alcoholic, been drinking, lived on the farm, you know what I'm saying, had me there, whatever. Could have easily try to keep me down. Could have easily saw that I had more opportunities than he did and tried to manipulate my life in a way to where I could not survive or thrive, you know, just survive, if that. But thing about it is, bottom line, he did not want me to do bad. He wanted me to be a productive member of society, not be out here causing trouble, not be out here getting in trouble, or being a detriment. And as you can see, everybody don't think like that. Then again, also, I know you're gonna have women that say, see, all these dudes talk about these single mothers. What about these sorry deadbeat dads? Yes, there are sorry deadbeat dads. I know some. It's just a thing of life. What we be talking about is dealing with somebody, a dad or a man that's worthy of you having his child. Somebody who takes care of his responsibilities. Somebody that you have seen take care of his responsibilities. Do right by his family. You know, do right by himself. Going to school, getting a career, education, trying to become something. You gotta pick out those guys, not the street guy or the street guy, the thug guy who is not trying to do anything, but it's like, except commit crimes and violence and have kids all over town. Don't choose that guy. So that's what I'm saying, because everybody ain't right. Every woman ain't right. Every man ain't right in the head. You got men, you know, beat on their women, you know, abuse their children. You got women that beat on their men and abuse their children. All of them sleep around. You got some that do drugs, alcohol. You know what I'm saying? Knock people off, knock people down. Just, you got bad seeds in all bunches. But to improve your chances of doing well in life, to live comfortable and to live right. Not gonna say you're gonna become a millionaire, make a lot of money, but to improve your chances of living a comfortable life, you need to have a mother and a father in the house, trying to raise a family, period. But you gotta have the right mix. Not just anybody should be mothers and fathers on both ends. But if you take the dad out the house, you dropping your chances to a very slim chance of your life and your kids' life getting better, especially if you have a bunch of kids. Slim chance. Not saying it won't happen, just a slim chance. But your chances are better of your family doing right and being good if you have a good dad, a good father, a good husband in the house. Period. That's all we're saying. But this story here, man, like I say, this is a sad story. it's kind of infuriating because you see this kind of stuff in the movies. Like, remember what's the name, Eddie Kane Jr. when he went back to the apartments where he grew up, I guess, and his mama there and his dad. I think she got done singing. No, they sung at the Apollo, I guess, and he was going home, and Daddy walked out there and said, "He ain't crap, ain't gonna be crap, cause I ain't crap, and I'm just using nice words." And the wife is like, "Why you say that?" And I think the actress that plays the wife, her name, anyway, no, the name is familiar. But anyway, and she said, "Why you say that?" He said, "Because," he said, "Look, that's my boy, and I just don't want to get his hopes up while, his dad like a drunk or whatever." And like I say, he's still married to his mama, and mama looked like real docile, like she might have been beat, like he probably done beat her. But the thing is, like I said, everybody's dad is not a great dad. And then you got moms like this stepmom here who was complicit in the crimes. Remember I just did a story about a young girl who, knocked off her assaulter. I'm trying to use good words, YouTube words. And, laid him down and went to jail, but then got out, but then had to end up paying some money, all this other bullcorn. But they said again in the story that she was abused by her stepmother. So it's like, why did the dad not intervene with the stepmother? Yes, kids and kids and step parents do not get along a lot of times in the beginning. That's something that the blood has to intervene and squash it and make things smooth. May not be overnight, might take a little time, but eventually you can work things out. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't, but eventually you hope things work out. But again, like I said, the dad didn't intervene. This one here, the dad's, like I say, in them streets teaching his son. I don't know where the boy's mother is. That's going to be a part of the story that needs to come out. But the parents failed this boy. And so now he got to suffer for the way he was raised. And the way he was raised is not his fault. He didn't get a chance to grow up and to see the rest of the world and to see how the rest of the world is living, how he can come up and become a productive member of society. Didn't even get that chance, which is sad. So, as I used to say, saying to me and my homeboy used to say, man, I blame the parents. Prime example of blaming the parents. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Man, I can ramble on for days on this story, man. But tell me what you think. Think I'm wrong? You think, the dad just did what he felt he had to do for the son? That's another issue too, is that a lot of times people think that the lifestyle they live is the only lifestyle that they have. But again, if you can find a way, anything can happen, or a lot of stuff can happen. Something different can happen. Like I say, my parents, and my mom too, grew up in both of these people grew up in little bitty racist towns in the South. And somehow moved out of there, went to school, got jobs, got careers, and lived a comfortable middle class, upper middle class life. They had 2 kids. Had the normal ups and downs, but they could have easily stayed in the little towns they was at and just stayed there and did very little, and just to get by and survive. Could have easily done it, but no. There are options. And we talking about little small country towns. LA got buses that can take you anywhere you want around this country, or bus stations or whatever. So I don't want to hear about, saying he probably felt that that's the only life he knew. That's the only life he chose, period. But anyway, leave your comments below and then share it with the world. That being said, I leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.